Hey guys, what's going on? Tyraku here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Now today, I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different than I've been doing in the recent series. I've done some free-to-play account series in the past, and I've done some like beginners tips and tricks and things like that. But JJB from the Discord actually posted a video request idea in the video request section of the Discord, which you can join from the link down below if you want to join the Discord, join the community. You're more than welcome to do that and we'll be happy to have you. Now, he posted a video request that I was actually a big fan of, and that video is, well, the video you're watching right now. And that is not telling you guys as much what to do as like beginner tips and tricks, but more so why you should do it. So I've been a culprit of this in the past. I have made tips and tricks videos where I go into what you should do, but I don't give you as much of why you should do it. I guess it's kind of like the give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, you feed him for his life, or however that saying goes, something like that. So here, I'm going to teach you how to fish, or what you can look for when you're actually going through these like beginner tips and tricks, like substitutions, because Raid is not linear. There's a whole lot of different paths you can go, so one tip is not going to last you forever. So I have about 10 tips. I know a lot of people like lists and organization, but as I'm going through this, I may do more, I may do less, I may forget where I'm at and say 6 comes after 4. I don't know, but this is going to be a little journey for both of us. So let's get started, guys. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much. Hoping to push the subscriber numbers soon and start some giveaways very soon as well. Now, first off, I want to start with why Kale, okay? It seems that everyone just has an absolute love for Kale. And if you're a new player and you're watching some of these beginner tips and trick videos, you're seeing people say, pick Kale for your starter, pick Kale, pick Kale, pick Kale. You may have not picked him, it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, picking your starter is not going to break the game, okay? If you pick somebody else, not a huge deal. The reason why people say to pick Kale, though, is mostly and very heavily based on his ability to place poisons. Now, this really stems heavily from many months ago, maybe even a year ago at this point or more. There wasn't a whole lot of champions that placed poisons as easily as Kale does. Before we had Frozen Banshee, before we had a whole wide array of champions who could place poisons, Kale fit that role amazingly. And poisons still are amazing. I still think Kale's the best option, but I think he's downgraded a little bit in like overall value just because there's so many other champions who are even rare quality, Frozen Banshee specifically, who just far outweigh him. Now, he also does very good, his A2 ability, but I can't really showcase this that much because Aethel has an amazing A2 ability as well. All the starter champions have amazing A2 abilities. Most of them, I believe, are AoE. It may be on their A3. A2 just means their ability. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about so you can make sense. A1, A2, A3, Aura. So that's what that means. Now, same thing with Elaine. They're all AoE. They all have this extra 15% chance to inflict a crit. So all their damage is going to be pretty similar. They're going to be comparable. Some of them are definitely better, but that's why Kale is always focused on as your starter champion. Poisons, especially for the clan boss, things like Dragon as well. What poisons do is they scale based on the enemy max HP. It doesn't really give you a whole lot of information right here, but it's a 5% poison, which is 5% based on the enemy max HP. The clan boss, it's scaled down. It's capped at a certain amount. So you're not going to do 5% of the clan boss's max HP, but for things like the dragon, it's very good. So definitely, that is why people say Kale, not the end of the world if you don't pick him though. Also, let's jump into point number 2. Number 2 is, why do people always say go with accuracy in the Great Hall? So if you're watching any other videos, you're probably hearing people say go with magic accuracy specifically. So the Great Hall is something you want to build up. It stays with your account forever, like many things. I mean, it's just a great thing to do. You get a ton of extra stats. Now, why do people say go with accuracy, and specifically magic accuracy? Now, what I typically say may be a little bit different, but ultimately, let's go ahead and answer this question. So magic accuracy, let's say I was going to go with this. The reason why you would want to go magic accuracy is for champions like Kale. So accuracy helps your champions actually land their debuffs. When you're starting off, accuracy is a little bit difficult to get. As you get later on in the game, it's not as difficult. Early on in the game, you're going to be putting accuracy chest plates, accuracy banners once you get those, but very early on, you're going to be using accuracy chest plates, so chest plates with the main stat of accuracy, as well as accuracy set pieces. So if you're looking in here, you're going to be using this accuracy set in order to reach the targeted amount of accuracy needed for your account. That is where the Great Hall comes into play. Because you're not going to have a ton of great gear, you're not going to have a ton of great substats. So when you're going through the dungeons, you need about 10 times the stage number of accuracy in order to land debuffs on whatever boss that is. That's not taking into consideration weak hits, but for example, if you're going to do stage 4 of the Dragon's Lair, you're going to need about 40 accuracy in order for your champion like Kale to actually land their debuffs against the dragon. If it says resisted, that basically means most situations that you don't have enough accuracy to land compared to his resistance, because accuracy and resistance go hand in hand. You need more accuracy than they have resistance in order to land your debuffs. If you have more resistance than the enemy has accuracy, then you will resist their debuffs when they're placed. Resistance isn't a stat most people go for. It's just a little difficult to get. That's besides the point. We're focusing on accuracy. So accuracy in the Great Hall, I love that idea. Now when you're doing this though, keep in mind, don't just necessarily go magic accuracy for your Kale. Give it a little bit of time, maybe save up your tokens. Don't invest too heavily in one thing. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure whoever your main debuff champion is, whether that's Kale, whether that's Stag Knight, whether it's War Maiden, whether it's a Aothar, a different poisoner, whoever your main champion applying the debuffs is, that's where you're going to want to put your accuracy. Personally, on my account that I had recently, I actually did Spirit accuracy to rank 10 as soon as possible because I had Stag Knight, who places decreased defense and decreased attack on all the enemies. Very, very good champion. So I went ahead and put my Great Hall to level 10 on Spirit accuracy because that's who I needed the most. I didn't need magic accuracy as much. So keep that in mind. Focus on accuracy, in my opinion, for whichever champion is going to be your debuff placer. So next, going to number 3. And this is why do you want to pick Spirit Host? So Spirit Host is a champion who a lot of people recommend going through the campaign. You get her from stage 4 of the campaign. You can do it normal, hard, brutal, or nightmare. I've heard the drop rates don't actually change as you move up. I've also heard people say they do change as you move up, but ultimately, if you get her, awesome. It takes forever to actually get the champions. You'll find that out if you try to farm for the champion specifically. But why pick Spirit Host? Let's go in here and take a look at her. So Spirit Host has a few different abilities. Her A1 heals 50% of the damage inflicted, okay? That's nothing crazy. She doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so we're not gonna worry about that one too much. Her ability 2, however, is a 50% increased attack. This is very, very helpful when paired with your champions like Kale, any attack-based champion. So when you look at Kale right here, you can see it says he's an attack-based champion. Also want to make sure that their abilities scale based on attack. So damage is based on attack, attack, and attack. So when you increase Kale's attack by 50%, that's increasing his total attack, not just his base attack, but his total attack in the battle by 50%. That's a big damage boost. You definitely want to have it if possible. And she also has removes all debuffs on all allies. It's a 6-turn cooldown, book it down to 5, but this is very, very good, especially on the dragon. And the dragon is something you really want to focus on early game. And last but not least, she has a increased speed aura, which speed is incredibly important. And I'll touch on that more later on in this video, why you really want to have it. But simply, if you go first in the battles, you're more likely to win. If you get more turns in the enemies, you're more likely to win. You always want to be faster than them. The only place early game you can get speed, really, is speed boots. So like a pair of boots with the main stat being speed sets, and the rare speed substat every now and then. So you don't have a ton of places to get speed. So having a champion who has a speed aura is very, very helpful. And her rest of her kit, excellent as well. So if you're looking for Spirit Host, if you have a champion who doesn't increase attack, if you have a champion who doesn't remove buffs, you can use that as well. But this is kind of why Spirit Host is talked about. She fits in a lot of different teams, a lot of different dungeons, very good in dragons, very good in the arena as well with this increased attack. So that's kind of like the idea behind Spirit Host and why you want to focus on her. Another champion related to speed is Apothecary. And I guess this is number 4. I don't know, 3 or 4, somewhere around there. Apothecary. Everybody talks about Apothecary. You'll see on Reddit, people say, day 2 of my free-to-play account, I pulled Apothecary. Wow, and everybody's freaking out, so crazy. Well, you may be wondering, what's up with this dude? I just pulled his ugly stepbrother, and where's this dude? Where's Magister at? Yeah, this guy. You don't want to pull that guy, okay? If you get excited about him, you are looking at the wrong picture, okay? Apothecary, this is who we like. But why do we like him, okay? So this is why. He has an aura that increases defense by 21% in dungeons, okay? Defense helps all champions out, while attack doesn't necessarily help all champions out. Defense does. Defense is a damage mitigation stat, so you definitely want to go for that whenever possible. This is going to help your team survive better going through the dungeons. And dungeons are going to be a big focus early game, especially Dragon. He also has an increased speed ability, a speed boost with a turn meter boost as well. 5 turn cooldowns is what it starts at. You can book it down to 3 turns. 5 minus 2 is 3. I guess I'm better at math than I expected. His heal is a 35%, heals a target ally by 35% of their HP. This heal can be critical. That is so helpful. Books down to a 2 turn cooldown, so all his abilities, very, very low cooldown. His A1 attacks 3 times at random. This makes him incredible for 2 things. One, you can put Giant Slayer on him, which is a mastery you get when you get into level 60, a tier 6 mastery. There's one down here. It's called Giant Slayer. This is very good because each of those 3 hits have a chance to do damage based on enemy max HP, 7.5% of a target's champion's max HP, or 3% of the target's max HP. Right here, read this ability. It's very, very nice against the clan boss. Helps out so much, and it's probably one of the biggest damage boosts you'll have is once you get those tier 6 masteries. So Apothecary is just so viable in so many areas of the game. He's a very fast champion for your arena, gives you speed boosts, very, very good in Fire Knight with this multi-hitter, but can definitely be replaced. If you want to replace him with a champion for arena, just get somebody who goes fast, like a Diabolist. I was going to talk about her a little bit later on, but Diabolist, I'll just go ahead and break it down for you to save you guys a little bit of time. I know we're approaching like the 11-minute mark, and I wanted to make this fast, but apparently there's a little bit more I can explain than I originally thought. The Diabolist fills a very similar role to Apothecary. Diabolist does the speed boost as well. If you're looking for a free-to-play option, you can farm her from the campaign. Guaranteed drop, pretty easy. I mean, guaranteed drop after you farm it so much. I mean, it's chapter 12 you get it from. You're going to be farming 12-3 so much. You're going to see so many curing shields, it's going to be insane. But she has a speed boost as well. 30% increased speed on all allies for 2 turns. She also has a fills turn meter of all allies and decreases the turn meter of all enemies. Very, very good in the arena. Very good in dungeons in general. She's helping your team go faster, and she also helps the enemy team go slower. Well, not helps them, I guess hurts them, makes them go slower. Very helpful. Back to that whole cycling through turns and getting through your turns quicker. Next, I want to talk about, keeping on the same category of champions, let's talk about War Maiden. Why is War Maiden a big deal? So hopefully you know what War Maiden's kit is, but essentially what she really shines at, I'm going to kind of just ignore these 2 abilities. You can read these, nothing super special there. They're solid, but her A3 attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance, booked up it's 100, of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. I believe she has to be ascended to 3 stars of ascension before she can actually use this. Book down, it's a 3 turn cooldown, and I'm going to show you why this is so extremely helpful. When you're going through dungeons, there's going to be a few different types of champions, okay? There's going to be champions like I talked about earlier who do their damage and their abilities are based on attack, and there's going to be champions whose abilities are based on defense. So let me give you an example with my Foley just right off the bat, okay? Not my Foley, I wish I had Foley. My Ghostborn, who does a decreased defense, AoE, if I can find him. I know, I used him recently, so he should be the recently used. I wanted to test this out before I actually jumped in here. Foley, oh, Ghostborn. Here he is. Okay, so what I want to showcase here is the difference between having a decreased defense applied and not having it applied. So first off, let's go ahead and hit everybody. So you see that 2,000 damage, non-crit, 2,291 damage, non-crit. Now, let's go ahead and back out of this. Both of these champions are defense-based. The game just froze up, so he's getting some extra exercise. Let's go in here and do not apply the decreased defense. Let's go ahead and hit this champion back here. Let's see, we get a 5,000 damage hit, almost 5,500, 5,000 again. So that's a huge difference in damage. And these champions don't get affected. I'll show. I should have shown that as an example as well. Those champions don't get affected by this. So you'll have 2 attack-based champions. The only reason why I know this is because I just know their skill kits. Those 2 champions are attack-based. So 7,000 damage was a crit. She crits for 7,000 as well. Decreased defense applied. And then let's do it with no decreased defense applied. Put that guy over there. And then wait for this to happen. I'm assuming I survive these 2 people's hits. And then these 2 champions should do, once again, about she did 8,000 damage. And then she's going to do 3,000. So the decreased defense doesn't affect attack-based champions. However, it does affect the damage that you deal to the champion. Let me show you in the best way that I can. All right, so now let me give you an example using a champion who we can actually showcase the damage with as well. So what I want to do is I want to show you how much my Cantra will hit for with her A1, with there's no decreased defense, and then with decreased defense applied. So here you see 4,600 and 2,700. Let's go ahead and speed this up. We got decreased defense applied now. So we had 4,700 and 2,600, I believe it was. 4,700 for the crit, 2,600, I believe, for the regular damage, and the regular damage shows up in red. Let's see what we hit for now. So we got to beat 4,600 and 2,700, more or less. Okay, so 4,300 for the crits. So we literally, for the non-crits, the red damage was non-crits, crits would be yellow. And we'll see if we can get another hit off to better showcase with a crit what it would look like. But you can already see there, we basically did double damage when his defense was decreased. So not only is he doing less damage to us, but we're doing more damage to them. Now, decrease attack, okay, we can't really tell here, but you can get the point, okay? So as you can tell, decreased defense is a huge debuff to have when you're going through dungeons. Helps out so much. It doesn't matter if you're getting that debuff from War Maiden, if you're getting that debuff from Stag Knight. The debuff doesn't decrease in quality based on the champion. The only reason why War Maiden is so focused on is because War Maiden has it on such a low cooldown. She's Force Affinity, which is very nice. You don't have a ton of Force Affinity champions who you'll use in a ton of areas. Most people are magic, it seems like. So War Maiden is very strong in the arena as well. When you're low level, you're probably seeing a ton of magic affinity champions. So War Maiden is actually strong against that. So she helps in the arena, helps in all the dungeons with the damage mitigation, increases your champion's damage. So helpful. Kind of a similar thing with decreased attack, except for the fact that when you're doing decreased attack, they're not taking more damage. They're taking the same amount of damage. You're just receiving less damage from them when the attack-based champions attack you. Now, typically, attack-based champions will be doing the bulk of the damage. So I absolutely love decreased attack, but there are, I guess, maybe a little bit harder. It's more difficult to acquire champions who do decrease attack simply because they're not farmable from the campaign as readily. So champions like Stag Knight, champions like Padma, there's a lot of champions who do AoE decrease attack, and when you pull them, you definitely want to focus on them. But that's the overall reason why you really want to have a decreased defense champion. As you can see right from that example, absolutely amazing for dungeon progression. It'll make your wave clear so much easier. So the next point, I've lost count by now. It's let's say 8. Okay, I know we're not at 8, but let's just say it's 8. Is why buy your masteries. So I've actually got a video on my channel a while back. I'll try to link that up in the corner, assuming I remember to put it up there. But it is why you should buy your masteries and goes over the whole breakdown. But basically, if you're not farming Minotaur stage 15, then farming Minotaur on any stage other than stage 15, unless you're just using free energy, like you're just running it on auto throughout the day so your energy doesn't cap, it is better than letting your energy go to waste, but it's not efficient whatsoever. Spending the 800 gems to purchase your champion's masteries, once they hit level 60 especially, but even at level 50, will be one of the single biggest changes to your account as a new player, second to getting your champion to level 60. Buying masteries may even be a bigger change. Your clan boss damage is going to skyrocket, assuming you take things like War Master and your champions are in lifesteal gear. Every War Master hit will be a full heal for your champion, okay? And they have a chance to land that every time they attack. So you definitely want to get your masteries fully complete and purchase, say, the first 2 or 3 champions, and then after that, start farming Minotaur stage 15. But before stage 15, don't worry about it. Like I said, that video that I linked up above, that'll show you a little bit more information, give you more of a breakdown on it. But definitely, buying masteries is so helpful. And don't worry about farming them until you get to doing Minotaur stage 15 pretty easily. And the last and final, but not least, tip and like why you want to do something is, why do you want to get somebody to level 60? Okay? So you may be entering the game thinking, okay, well, if I have a team of 5 and they're all level 50 and I fight at level 60, I should win, right? I mean, they're only 10 levels difference. That should be no problem. Well, if you've actually tried that in Arena, you'll quickly realize that that's not the case, okay? So there's a few things that go into level 60, specifically 6-star and fully ascended, give you as far as benefits. Let me show you right here. So I have a level 50 shaman, all right? She's fully ascended. Don't worry about any of her equipment, but let's take a look at her base stats, all right? 12,802, 737, 99 attack. Keep that in mind, all right? So 12, 8, 7, 9, just for short memory, okay? This is 6-star fully ascended, 17, 1,000, 1,000, 106. So Shaman increased her base attack, base HP, her base attack, base defense, and base speed significantly, as you can see. And that's going from level 50, fully ascended, just to level 60, fully ascended. All right. The difference is so huge because everything you equip to your champion is based off of their base stat. All right. So if you have a pair of gloves that increase your champion's HP, that HP increase is based on their base HP. You're saying base, my goodness. All right. So you got a 50% HP boost versus on a 12,000 HP champion is going to be far less than a 50% HP boost on a champion who has 17,000 HP. Same thing with boots. When you equip speed sets, like right here, the speed set increases my speed by 12%. 12% of 99 is less than 12% of 106. Mind-blowing things, I know, but bear with me, all right? Another thing getting your champion fully ascended does is unlocks your banner slot. Banner slots give you accuracy, they can give you attack, they can have speed on them. So this is another area where you can actually get speed on your champions. Now granted, if you're watching this video and you're very new, you probably won't have any banners. Maybe you get lucky and you actually did get one for Kale with accuracy on it, but it will allow you to basically take the accuracy chest piece off of Kale and put on an HP percent, attack percent, or maybe even a non-accuracy, maybe even an attack percent chest plate onto Kale instead, because you'll be able to fill out your accuracy with the banner. You'll be able to reach that 150, 200 mark pretty easily. So ultimately getting a champion is 6-star. Oh, and it also unlocks a mastery. Like I mentioned before, this tier 6 mastery, so helpful. You cannot unlock this, it's gonna be locked. So like for Shaman, you can see right here, this is the only one that's locked. You have to be 6 stars. You don't have to be fully ascended. You just have to be level 60. For example, this champion, it's not locked, 6 stars, not ascended at all. So once you get them 6 stars, you can unlock this. So helpful. Now, you do have to have them ascended to unlock this, as well as their stat boost. So there you go, guys. I hope this was a helpful video to a lot of you, kind of explaining why you should follow certain tips, why you should follow certain tricks. And if you want me to go into another video more in depth and some additional tips and tricks, let me know. If there's any one specifically that really stood out to you that you're like, okay, well, I'm glad you actually shared that, because I was going to invest in this champion because I thought, whatever it may be, if it changed your direction, let me know in the comment section below. I know a lot of these champions are pushed very heavily and they may or may not be worth investing in because you may have better options. Like if you have Stag Knight, there's no reason to invest in War Maiden early game. Stag Knight's better everywhere, except for maybe Arena, but he's still really good there. With that said, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Feel free to click one of the videos that are about to pop up on the sides here, and I'll catch you in the next video.